Stop, right now. Don't scroll. Don't look away. Don't tell yourself you'll come back later. Because later doesn't exist for this moment. In this exact second, something unseen has stepped into your atmosphere. You felt it before your mind could catch up. That sudden stillness, that pause in your chest, that quiet but undeniable sense that this message is looking straight at you. You're not imagining it, and you're not here by accident. You didn't randomly click this. You didn't just stumble across these words. This moment was waiting for you. And before your logic tries to dismiss it, understand this. If this message wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't still be listening. This isn't a message for the comfortable. It's not for the distracted. It's not for the ones who've never had to fight to survive. This is for the one who kept going when stopping would have been easier. For the one who learned how to function while breaking inside. For the one who became strong, not because they wanted to, but because they had no other choice. You. There's a reason your life hasn't followed a normal path. From early on, things felt heavier for you than they did for others. You noticed it, even if you never said it out loud. Other people seemed protected from certain pains. Other people recovered faster. Other people didn't have to rebuild themselves again and again. But you were introduced to loss early, to disappointment early, to responsibility early. You learned how to read rooms before you learned how to rest. You learned how to survive before you learned to dream. And somewhere along the way, you started asking questions you couldn't answer. Why does life keep testing me like this? Why do I have to be the strong one? Why does it feel like I'm always carrying more than my share? You asked God those questions, sometimes quietly, sometimes angrily, sometimes through tears you didn't let anyone see. And when answers didn't come, you kept going anyway. That alone tells me something about you. You weren't built to quit. Even when your faith weakened, even when your hope felt thin, even when you felt unseen, something inside you refused to shut down completely. You may not call it faith, you may call it stubbornness, instinct, or survival, but it was purpose. Because if life had gotten its way, you would have been gone already. Gone in that season where everything collapsed at once. Gone in that moment when you felt like a burden instead of a blessing. Gone in that quiet darkness when your mind kept asking, what's the point of all this? But you're still here, not because life was gentle with you, but because your assignment wasn't finished. Some people are spared because their lives are easy. Others are spared because their lives are necessary. You belong to the second group. Every delay you hated was shaping your patience. Every closed door was sharpening your discernment. Every unanswered prayer was strengthening your endurance. You thought time was taking something from you. In reality, it was building depth inside you. You lost innocence, but you gained wisdom. You lost comfort, but you gained clarity. You lost people, but you gained discernment. And yes, it hurt. There were nights you cried silently so no one would hear you falling apart. Moments you sat in rooms filled with people but felt completely alone. Times you replayed conversations, wondering what you did wrong. You questioned yourself. You questioned God. You questioned whether you were asking for too much just by wanting peace. But here's the truth most people never hear. God doesn't prepare everyone the same way. When He needs someone ordinary, He lets life be gentle. But when He needs someone who can carry weight, real weight, He allows pressure. Pressure that builds authority. Pressure that creates depth. Pressure that teaches you how to stand when everything shakes. Generals aren't trained on soft ground. You weren't being punished. You were being trained. The loneliness wasn't abandonment, it was separation. The confusion wasn't chaos, it was refinement. The pain wasn't meaningless, it was instruction. And now, something is shifting. You can feel it. The things that once distracted you don't work anymore. The tolerance you had for certain situations is gone. Your spirit feels restless, alert, almost impatient. That's not frustration, that's alignment. God always adjusts the inside before he changes the outside. Your spirit feels uneasy because it's outgrowing old patterns. Your heart feels heavy because it's done surviving. Your mind feels different because clarity is approaching. You're stepping into a season where you won't have to force strength. It will come naturally. A season where you stop questioning your worth, where you stop shrinking to keep others comfortable, where you stop apologizing for your depth. What's coming next isn't chaos, it's clarity. Not loud, not rushed, but undeniable. You're about to understand why you had to go through what you did, why certain people couldn't come with you, why certain doors never opened. Your past didn't disqualify you, it qualified you. And when this next chapter unfolds, it will feel sudden to others, but for you, it will feel earned. If something inside you feels stirred right now, if your chest feels heavy but calm, if your spirit is quietly saying, "This is me," then know this: you weren't forgotten, you weren't overlooked, you weren't delayed, you were prepared.